Welcome to Lifestyle Profiles. I'm Wendy McGowan Ellis, and today our guests are from UT Southwestern, Dr. Andrew Gelfand and Dr. Devika Rao, and they are here to discuss a very important topic that's going on here in Frisco, vaping. So welcome, Dr. Andrew. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Dr. Rao, thank you so much. So tell us what this is. My husband and I don't have children, and so I'd like to start kind of at the very beginning, since you both are lung specialist doctors and pediatrics. So tell us what's going on with this activity.
So vaping is a common term that's used for an electronic cigarette device, which is basically an electronic device that heats a liquid with an electronic system to the point where a vapor is created.
Okay.
And when we think of vapor, we think of kind of water vapor, something
Steam.
that's steam,
Yeah.
harmless, that's maybe good for inhalation. Unfortunately, these devices produce an aerosol that contains many different kinds of chemicals that parents may not expect. Things that have been studied over the past 5 years in the medical literature that's basically shown that the compounds that is in the aerosol of these devices include things like heavy metals, chromium, lead, nickel, as well as acetyls, inorganic and organic compounds, even flavorings that are used to sort of enhance the pleasure of the sensation of inhaling the aerosol. There are compounds that are safe for ingestion, but these are not compounds that are safe for inhalation.
Right.
In addition to these compounds, many of these devices contain nicotine. Some do not, but many of them do. And that is a main reason why young people are choosing to use these electronic cigarette devices or vaping devices, is because they are able to basically
Somewhat smoke.
basically smoke nicotine without the irritation of cigarettes.
Okay.
In other words, the aerosol is a more pleasurable experience because of the way it's formulated, because of the pH of the aerosol.
Right.
And so you don't have the throat irritation that you have when you smoke cigarettes. In addition, the nicotine contained in these devices is very potent, and you get almost a direct hit to the brain. You have that stimulant reaction from nicotine.
Wow.
And you can get very easily addicted to nicotine with these electronic cigarette devices.
Okay. So, Dr. Gelfand?
And just to add to that, the brain of a teenager is actually different than the brain of an adult. So
Right.
the risk of getting addicted is much easier to happen and will occur much faster in the teenager than it will to an adult. So just 1 or 2 or 3 times doing this, a child can become very addicted to the nicotine that they're inhaling.
So it's actually the high is the reason why the kids are picking up this habit. Is that correct? I mean, tell me about the peer pressure around what's going on with this as well.
So I think that one thing that may be alarming for parents is that what I am seeing is that parents don't really know what it is, number
Right.
one. Number two, they don't believe that their children know what it is. And when I ask the questions, the parents usually turn to their children and they say, "You're not doing that, are you?" And the child often has sort of a knowing glance.
Right.
And the facts show that over 1 in 4 high schoolers are using electronic cigarettes, and 1 in 20 middle schoolers. And this was based on a report that was put out by the Surgeon General in 2018. So over a year ago,
Wow.
the Surgeon General's office was putting out an advisory advising that there's becoming an epidemic of electronic cigarette use. And so while one reason is that you are able to inhale nicotine and get the high from it, but in addition to that, children are attracted to the flavorings that are added to these electronic cigarette devices. And as well, the devices are oftentimes mimicking candy and different products like that. They're very sleek, they're very compact, they often look like a USB device. Parents may not realize that their child has a device that's an electronic cigarette. They may think, oh, this is for homework. Some of them look like tubes of lipstick. There's even one device that we've seen that looks like an inhaler. And so they're discreet, they're sleek, they're cool. There's a lot of children that are using these devices, and kids are very social. You know that they want to be accepted.
So how are they getting their hands on these things, Dr. Gelfand?
I mean, I think it's everywhere. I mean, I don't think some of the stores are actually checking the age limits. I think you're in a high school situation, so there are 18-year-olds who probably can get it, and then are giving it to the younger kids. It's one of these things. It's ubiquitous. I mean, if you ask any high schooler, they will tell you that. For example, we have a colleague who has children in high school, and the daughter tells her mom, "I don't go into that bathroom because that's the vaping bathroom."
Wow.
And it's everywhere, and people can get it. They can get it on the street, but they also get it from the older kids probably who are in school. So and then because it doesn't necessarily have an odor, it doesn't necessarily.
The steam is
the
probably...
families don't know that these kids are doing it.
So is there language or lingo that you both are aware of that is kind of the subcontext of what kids are saying? What can parents listen for?
I think that there are some lingo that parents can listen for, things like vaping, electronic cigarette, dabbing, hacking. These are some terms that may be used. But I think more importantly, it may be worthwhile for parents to check for any changes in behavior. In other words, are your kids' grades dropping? Are they having to leave class very often to go use the bathroom so that they can use their electronic cigarette because they are addicted to nicotine and they need to get that stimulant reaction in order to feel okay? Are your children who are athletes? Is their performance declining because they are addicted to nicotine?
Right.
And in addition, I think that these children know that they are addicted, that they know that they need to use these devices more and more, and they may be scared to seek help because they're fearful that they'll be judged, that they'll be criticized for doing something bad.
Right.
And so I think it's really important for parents to open the conversation, to start talking to their children about it in a very non-judgmental way so that they can really seek appropriate help.
And speaking of help, where can parents go to get resources to help?
I think that's the harder question because this is relatively new. But I think the key to this is, one, they can talk to their pediatricians.
Okay.
Two, if they're concerned that it may be affecting their lungs, then they can see lung specialists, and
Right.
and we can measure things. But I think ultimately this is a problem with addiction when
Yes.
these kids start, and what they actually may need is psychology, psychiatry. That type, somebody who can actually truly help with the addiction part.
Right.
And the other thing that sometimes these kids can do is, it's not just nicotine. Sometimes they can make other substances in to the device, such as THC, the active ingredient in marijuana. So these kids are often inhaling that along with the nicotine, and that is contributing to some of their addiction and problems and low performance.
But there's a few great websites that I think that parents can also look towards to get more information. The American Lung Association has a great website. And then if parents are looking for ways to help their child who is addicted to nicotine, the truthinitiative.org group has a free text messaging service that you can subscribe to via your cell phone and receive free support via text messaging in an effort to try and help with a child's nicotine addiction.
Now, Dr. Gelfand, I know you will be practicing out of the UT Southwestern that is just about to open up here in Frisco. So can people contact you for help if they have further questions about this phenomenon?
They can contact me. They can contact Dr. Rao, who's actually more of an expert in this field than I am, but she'll be practicing in the downtown facility. But we'll also have 3 pediatric pulmonologists who will be rotating through at first. And as our division grows, I hope to have more physicians that'll be out in Frisco as well.
Wonderful. So if you're a parent and any of these things are resonating with you and your children, please don't hesitate to reach out to UT Southwestern. We will have emails and URLs here at the bottom of this video so you can get help, get your children some help. And just again, thank you, Dr. Gelfand and Dr. Rao. Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing the information about this. We want to keep our children safe here in Frisco, and thank you for being a part of that.
Thank you for having us.